Senator Marcos. Before we go to Senator Aquino, we'll recognize those who've been raising their hands. Former Commissioner Biason, then we'll go to Attorney Mangawang, then we'll go to Ms. Tirona.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, Your Honors. I would just like to go back to that point on the smuggling of firearms through balikbayan boxes. Let me just inform the committee that as a matter of record, there have been apprehensions and seizures of firearms through balikbayan boxes, at least during my time. May mga records po naman yan.
Can you give us figures, Commissioner? Is this during your time as Commissioner?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, sige, kasi that's the point of Senator Marcos. Dapat may basis siguro.
I just don't have access right now to our records, but I can cite some examples na yung iba po dito na naging subject nga po ng pag-file namin ng cases against certain personalities, no, sa Department of Justice. Mag-cite na po ng isang example, itong nakuha namin po sometime in March 2013, no, sa Cebu, wherein yung balikbayan box, ang nilalaman niya is a baby Armalite, a caliber .357 pistol, a .45 caliber pistol, 22 caliber pistol, no, in one balikbayan box. And there was this famous case of PhilAms, no, na law enforcers in the United States, no, they were caught sending firearms to the Philippines. Tawag nga ho sa kanila gun running syndicate kasi regular na nilang ginagawa na nagpapadala ng mga armas dito sa atin through our coordination with the Homeland Security.
Paano nyo na-discover yun? Was it in
sa intelligence work naman?
Intelligence. Pero may info from the US?
Yes. Nagko-coordinate po kami regularly.
May na-discover ba tayong firearms na walang intel info from outside sources? Meaning, only internal sa BOC?
Meron din, through X-ray. Kasi meron naman hong standing Customs Memorandum Order issued in 2011 requiring the mandatory X-ray of balikbayan boxes. So meron din hong mga apprehension through the X-ray. So ito lang naman po is to highlight that the threat is real, no? Because the mandate of the Bureau of Customs is threefold. That is revenue collection, border security, and trade facilitation. And we cannot be lax on any of the three because that is our mandate. Kaya yung threat na nakikita natin, which has basis, I would say, no? Kasi merong actual na mga huli ng firearms as I have stated. Kailangan maging vigilant din tayo doon. Of course, without sacrificing our OFWs. So that's where we must come up with a policy that would not sacrifice both the welfare of the OFWs, but at the same time not compromise our national security. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Salamat, Commissioner Biason. Attorney Mangawang, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and the members of the committee, and Senators Recto and Senator Aquino. Yeah, I am Attorney Mangawang. I am with the Collectors Association of the Philippines. We're the ones who actually exercise the functions of the Bureau of Customs. So kami ho yung on the ground, and we have had like 20 to 30 years of experience. Now, what I will be saying here is based on the rules and regulations of customs and the law and experience. I'd like to explain first that balikbayan box is just a generic term used for yung pag-sending goods from abroad. Now, it doesn't mean that ang nagpadala niyan balikbayan. So, it can be also, like ako, pag pupunta ho ako sa abroad, yung mga lumang damit ko, pinapadala ko po. Pero puro luma yun. Kaya sa bitbitin ko, mag-excess baggage ako bayan. Tapos, secondly, yung ibang balikbayan. So, sir, may distinction po ang balikbayan. What is a balikbayan? A balikbayan is a Filipino, former Filipino, OFW, na pumunta sa abroad at have not returned back to the Philippines for 1 year. That is the law. Kailangan abroad siya for 1 year. What is a returning resident? A returning resident, in accordance with law, has been abroad for 6 months. At least 6 months. What is an OFW? An OFW is an overseas Filipino workers. Usually, andyan ho sila sa Middle East. Karamihan ho sa kanila. So, an OFW can be a balikbayan. But a returning resident does not necessarily mean an OFW. So may distinction yon. Iba-iba din ho ang privileges. Gusto ko lang ho dagdagan yung sinabi, yung yung presentation ni Depcom Ubero. Sa Section 105, ang returning resident, ang privilege, tax and duty privilege niya, 10,000 po, exempted. However, there is an Executive Order 206 which gives additional privilege to OFW kasi recognizing na they are really our heroes, no modern day. May dagdag ho na 10,000 yan. So, ang OFW, 20,000 ho ang tax exemption. Ganun po. Now, sa amin po, nagko-collector ako sa customs, ang aming experience, ang OFW, ito, generally, I would say 99% of OFW, hindi ho nag-i-smuggle yan. Hindi ho. Buksan nyo ho yung kanilang balikbayan boxes, mga bulok yan, lumang tools, lumang microwave oven, lumang So, ganito yung yung sa batas nakita ko ho, kasi we are here for CMTA. I asked to be invited here kasi yung gusto kong tumulong sa pag-craft ng batas. Ang sinasabi ho dun sa batas, kailangan accompanied, ang exception ng OFW, kailangan accompanied pagbalik niya, o kaya within 60 days pagbalik niya. I think we should amend that. Anytime they can send, anytime they should be allowed to send, since they are contributing $50 billion. Kung wala sila, bagsak ang economy. Ang training ho namin since time of FBR, pag OFW, be very lenient, tulungan sila because they have been remitting much. They have been, kung wala sila, bagsak, I'm sure, hindi ganito kahusay ang ekonomiya natin. So, tungkol naman ho sa examination, no? So, ang recommendation ko po, wag nang alisin na yung provision na accompanying or must be sent within 60 days upon their return. They should be allowed to send balikbayan their boxes anytime. No? Tsaka hindi naman na-check ng customs yan kung ilang beses sila nagpadala eh. Sa totoo lang, hindi ho talaga na-check yan. Pero sa experience namin, puro mga used. Puro mga used yung pinapadala nila. Karamihan. So, sa procedure naman ng pag-examine, ganito ho, I'd like to clarify that...
Ma'am, mahaba pa ba ho?
Sadali na lang po.
Ha? Mga ilang minuto?
2 minutes. 2 minutes
2 minutes,
po.
okay.
Nung una po ho, wala pang mga x-ray, talagang ine-examine yan, binubuksan. Talagang binubuksan yan, pero hindi lahat. No? Hindi lahat. Tapos nung may x-ray na po, time ni Boy Morales, ine-x-ray na lang po yan. In fairness to Commissioner Lina, nagkaroon ho ng policy ng 100% examination. I have a copy here. Customs Memorandum Order 6-2014 issued by Commissioner Sevilla. 6.3. Consolidated shipments shall be subject to full 100% examination. So yung policy, hindi ho kay Commissioner Lina yon, kay Commissioner Sevilla yon. Ipinagpatuloy na lang po niya. Kasi nung time ni Commissioner Angelito Alvarez ng 2011, he issued a Customs Memorandum Order requiring all consolidated shipments under informal entry to undergo mandatory X-ray scan.
Tanong, Attorney Mangawang, anong publication at paano nalalaman ng ating mga kababayan na may ganyang mga Customs Memorandum Order?
It should be in the Customs website. No? I don't know kung pinablish yan, but do you have a Customs
May konsultasyon ba tayo pag ginagawa yung mga Customs Memorandum Order? O kung palitan na lang, kung nagbago ng Commissioner, bagong mga order din?
Ganito po yun. Sabi ko kaya nag-issue si Commissioner Alvarez noon dahil meron naman investigation doon tungkol sa smuggling na naman through balikbayan boxes. Sa totoo ho, I was head of the X-ray inspection project. May mga nahuli din ho kaming mga baril sa balikbayan boxes. But I'd like to clarify, wala hong nanggagaling sa OFW na ganyan, sa Middle East na ganyan. Sa US po galing yan. Meron din mga motorsiklo, high value goods. So, ang recommendation ko kasi dapat na ho yan, risk management, no? So you're saying, attorney, na mag-focus tayo dun sa high
history
risk.
of
High risk.
So you're saying the US is a high risk and
Yes, it is a high risk.
The Middle East is not a high risk.
Middle East, it's
area.
not.
Okay.
Kasi nga po, puputulan sila ng ulo pag may gumawa sila ng ganyan eh.
Sige
So,
ho.
high risk yan.
Sige ma'am, if we can wrap up kasi you can submit your suggestions in writing kasi we have to give everyone a chance to speak. Ho.
So, Yun lang po, dapat we categorize the examination into high risk and low risk, and those coming from OFW, from Middle East, are really high risk. I mean low risk. And those coming from the US, Thailand, yan mga high risk po yan.
Okay. Tapos na? Tapos na ho? Thank you. Thank you very much. We said we'll recognize Ms. Tirona. Let's keep it brief ho. You're all welcome to submit formal position
Yes,
papers.
thank
In
you.
fact, it
Thank
would
you.
be more convenient ho for the committee kasi baka makalimutan pag oral lang. It's better that these proposals for legislation are in writing. Ma'am, let's keep it.
Yes, thank you, Senator. I'm Undersecretary Mary Grace Ampil Tirona from the Commission on Filipinos Overseas. Already, the lady attorney cited the very important distinction that must be made. Not every overseas Filipino is an overseas Filipino worker, or what we used to call OCW. In fact, number two, we do come out with a so-called stock estimates of how many Filipinos overseas we have. And the figures that are always quoted are 10 million, 0.2 of OFWs. I just want to put on record the important distinction that only about 48% of that are what we categorize as the permanent residents, the permanent migrants, rather, and lesser, about 42%, are our OFWs, and about 11% are the TNT, the temporaries. No? So I think what is also important, as well, at least the case has been softened already, so we don't really have to add much more. But this is not to say, and it was mentioned, that many of the contrabands, I'm glad to have heard that, have also come from Phil-Americans. Again, that's also sometimes very dangerous to brand, because they could be already American citizens. You know, but in our work, we do not really distinguish and say, oh, ikaw, 1% lang ang dugo mong Pilipino, hindi ka na namin tutulungan, hindi ka na namin papayuhan. We also recognize, you know, the children of our naturalized Filipinos, the dual citizens. So I think it will also be important that we blast this to everybody who is out there. And this is where OFWs, OFs, you know, should know about this, no? And I think what is also important, I was an OF myself. I used to send balikbayan boxes. And I think it also, we have to be realistic. We not only send old stuff, we send new stuff. Some young yuppies who study abroad, for example, let's say they have baby food that they want to continue feeding their babies but are not available here. So these boxes can contain old and new and sale items and so on and so forth. No? So this is not to discriminate between the different categories of overseas Filipinos. All of us can be used or abused. And like in the States, I can buy a balikbayan box. Anybody can buy a balikbayan box for, I think, $1. So if I really wanted to send contraband, medicine, whatever, and even our medical mission, you know, we do get a lot of donations from overseas Filipinos, so they sometimes come home with medicine. But of course, the bill of lading, the declarations, there are rules for that, no? So I just want that caution that we should not have a blanket statement against OFWs or OFs. All of us might be possible victims of abuse. And then the how shall I say, the savviness of smugglers is something we cannot discount. They can use us also for their ulterior motives. So I just want that on record that we do not discriminate. Thank you.
Director, salamat.
We sent our report to your
yes,
office.
please do. Senator Aquino.
Yes, thank you, Mr.
We
Chairman.
recognize DepCom La Chica after Senator Aquino.
Yeah, I promise to be brief. Alam niyo ho, yung nagiging issue rin kasi dito is really yung lack of clarity pagdating sa mga polisiya. I think si Ms. Toots mentioned it earlier. And yung lack of clarity, kung ano ba talaga yung pwede mong dalhin, ano yung pwede mong ibalik, ano yung itatak sa'yo pag nagpabalik ka ng mga gamit. Nakaka-create ho kasi yun ng pangamba eh. And that's something I think na ayaw ng taong bayan natin, especially our OFWs, na meron pangamba. Na pag may pinadala sila, hindi nila alam kung i-charge, hindi nila alam kung i-withhold, hindi alam kung sisingilin sila. And papalampasin ko na ho yung the talk about the balikbayan box because I think my other senators have discussed it already at length. No? I would like to talk about what really is the policy. Kasi meron tayong de minimis na 10 piso that I think we all agree is absurd and outdated already. Merong sinasabing EO na nasa 10,000 tapos may isa pang exemption. Magkaiba ho yung EO sa batas, no? So, ano ba talaga ho? If I am a returning resident, how much can I bring back na tax exempt? Is that clear? Malinaw ho ba yung polisiyang yan? Si Commissioner is also shaking his head. That's not a good sign when the Bureau of Customs Commissioner is shaking his head kung ano yung polisiya. Ano po ba talaga yung polisiya?
Boss, hindi na policy ito, it's the law.
Okay.
Kaya nga po pinag-usapan natin ito, baka pwede na nating sa pamamagitan ni Senator Recto, sina nagsabi na, Bert, taasan na natin kasi nagkakaroon ng discretion. Ang gustong ng ating buting senador, mawala na yung discretion namin sa BOC.
Agree. In fact, I also filed the bill on that last year, Mr. Chairman, and the Chairman CMTA includes that provision also, no?
Correct, Senator Aquino.
So, I would like to be clear. Currently, meron ho tayong policy confusion, if I can call it that. Ano ba yung pwedeng iuwi ng ating... Let's start with returning residents. Nag-abroad ka, namili ka ng pasalubong, pag uwi mo, nothing to declare, something to declare. Karamihan ho sa atin, dire-diretso tayo sa nothing to declare. And we do it not because may tinatago tayo, but because we probably bought personal items, no? Ano po ba talaga yung rules dyan?
Mr. Senator, kung talaga po yung rules ang ating susundin po, talaga pong pagkalampas po ng duties na 10 pesos, lahat po tayo dutiable na at taxable. Ang talaga po lamang libre, yung po nagko-qualify na OFW.
Okay.
Yun po ang ating nasa batas. Ngayon,
Okay.
Kung ang sasabihin nyo sa akin, Bert, huwag na tayong mangolekta, ano po sasabihin ko naman dun sa iba? Sino ang dapat kong sundin?
Well, ako, Commissioner, to be very frank, pag may policy confusion, you err on the side of the people. Diba? Kung ano yung mas pabor sa tao. Kasi yung nangyayari ho ngayon, your customs personnel will just decide if something is too expensive or not, to tax it or not, di ba? Yun ho yung nangyayari.
Mabuti ho, sinasabi nyo ngayon na kung yun ang patakaran ng ating bansa, ng ating hindi yun ang aming gagawin. Kung paglilinaw nyo dito sa ating harap-harapan nito, kaya nga na po natin nililinaw.
Opo.
Kasi kung hindi rin ho talaga nakalagay yan dyan, ano ho naman ang ating gagawin? Kung abuse po, kami ho bahala na kung nag-abuse ang aming mga personnel sa Bureau of Customs. I think we have a way, really po, kung paano natin sila papatawan ng penalty, etc.
Commissioner, if I may move on, yung OFWs po, yung de minimis is for returning residents po, di ba? 10 piso. So, kalokohan na po yung batas na yon. Yung OFWs natin, ano po yung tax exempt nila? 20,000 ba?
Let's just to put it on record. The returning residents is 10,000. May 10,000 exception. The de minimis is for all. Anyone who is not a returning
But that
resident.
exemption comes from an EO or comes from a law.
Nasa de minimis po, nasa law yun.
Oh, but the exemption
It's an EO, but it was issued by President Cory in 1987 when there was still no Congress.
So, in
it
effect-
has legislative legal effect as a law.
Okay. So in effect, may 10,000.
Sir, can I, pursuant to Section 105 of the Tariff and Customs Code, returning resident are entitled to 10,000 pesos
Okay.
tax exemption. However, there's an EO 206 issued by then President Aquino when there was no legislature, so the EO is a law. It gives, in addition,
Kakasabi ko lang ho nun.
in addition, opo sir, in addition to the 10,000,
Isa pang
OFWs,
10,000.
another 10,000. So,
Okay.
20,000 po sila.
Okay. Commissioner Lina, yung 10 pesos, kung ganun, does that mean that the 10 pesos de minimis has been, kumbaga, ano na yun?
They are supporting that, Senator Aquino, which is in your bill
Okay.
and which is in the CMTA, the 10,000.
Okay,
Pero
so-
ang sabi ni DepCom Ubero kanina, why don't we craft a special provision for the OFWs? Kasi maliit yung 10,000 pag bumabalik ho sila. Even to 20,000 siguro, attorney, medyo maliit na rin ho.
No, alam mo, to be
kung
frank,
gusto natin kung gusto natin talagang bigyan ng pagkilala o kaya pagkalinga ang ating OFW, we should craft a special provision just for them.
no, in fact, no, even though yung version ko is at 10,000 coming from these reports. Mukhang kailangan talaga nating itaas pa, no, to be realistic. Kasi yung average cost natin ng balikbayan box, si Mr. Mel nga, umuwi lang 30,000 pesos worth of pasalubong na kaagad yung 30 to 50. O sabihin mo nang nasa high side, 50,000 worth na nga yung nauwi niya, no? So, there's really an opportunity actually to really increase that.
Just to clarify again, yung 10,000 is the minimis value brought in by anyone. Yung sinasabi nating 10,000 for OFWs na iaangat natin, there are proposals to bring it up from the House of Representatives to 150,000. The commissioner said 50,000 minimum is acceptable to them, at may proposals naman si Senator Recto na naglalaro sa 100 to 150,000. So I think in the end the committee will probably settle at 100,000, something like that.
Which I think is a good number. Yes, Mel.
Sir, ano ko lang yung 50,000 na yan, kasi sir, depende yan sa airlines, kung ilan ang pwede mo company baggage. So, kung may company baggage ka, yung excess na mga gusto mo ipadala, ipapabagahe mo talaga. That is within the 6 months na sinasabi.
Yes.
So, yung 50,000 na yun yung maidadala ko lang as allowed na weight.
Oo. Based on the weight yun, di ba? Hindi yung based on value.
Not on the weight. So weight. So yung sa weight na yun, naglalaro talaga ng 30 to 50,000.
Oo. But kasi, I'm sorry, I can't see your last name, no? Mr.
Lanesa po.
Okay, Mr. Lanesa. Yung weight ho kasi is very, pwede ho kasing magaan lang siya pero napakamahal.
Opo.
Pwede hong mabigat, no? So we're talking about value here, no?
Value.
Pagdating sa customs natin, no? Okay. So definitely, Commissioner, we'll be supporting that na panahon na siguro i-review kung magkano ba talaga yon, panahon na sigurong itaas yung value na yan, no? And,
Boss,
yes.
dalawa lang ang pakiusap lang namin talaga, yung definition ng de minimis Di ba? That applies to everyone. Iba pa kasi talaga yung ating bayaning OFW. Kung gusto natin bigyan sila ng 150,000, so be it. 200,000, so be it. Di ba? Ang mahirap kasi yung aabuso beyond the balikbayan or OFW. Yun lang pinakikiusap namin. To them, we will have the protections for them. Ayaw nilang buksan ang kanilang boxes. Okay lang lahat. Given yan Pero ang nangyayari lang pakiusap namin kasi, pabayaan naman kami namin, kasi doon sa consolidation, may halo, that's the word, nahahaluan, yung mga balikbayan boxes. And that is our role, is to look into this. Di ba? Yun lamang. Ngayon, kung gusto natin gawing 150,000 sa OFW, so be it.
Commissioner, if I may interject. So yung halo po talaga yung concern ninyo?
Yun po ang amin tinitingnan. Hindi
Okay.
naman talaga yung balikbayan. In the process lang nakakasama sila doon. Ako nakikiusap sa kanila, nakikiraan, paumanhin po, nakikiraan kami dito. Bubuksan namin yung container. Kasi ang tingin namin may halo. Plus, yung ating danger now of the drugs and the proliferation of the spare parts of the guns.
Okay,
Yun
gusto
po
kong tanungin na Commissioner, no? Kasi yung kabaho ng maraming OFW is bubuksan yung kanilang balikbayan box and itatax dun sa goods na pinauwi nila because most likely more than 10,000 pesos na yan. Let's be frank about it, no? Most likely lalampas na talaga yan sa 10,000 o 20,000. Dun sa panahong may nabukas po kayo, meron ba kayong tinax na OFW because of the goods that were nakita dun sa kanilang balikbayan box?
Wala po.
Wala. Yun ho ba yung naging balak ho ninyo? Kasi, again, Commissioner, no, ito talaga yung pakiramdam ng maraming OFW Binubukas ito para buwisan kami, para makadagdag sa revenue collection, at kami yung magbabayad para sa mga goods na pinadala namin para sa aming pamilya. Yun talaga yung tingin ng maraming tao. Was that the plan na maging revenue collection measure ito?
Hindi po. Kung magkaroon man ng tinatawag na revenue collection, pagbukas po ng container, meron po kami nakikita doon, hindi naman po address sa balikbayan na consignee, iba po ang consignee. Noon po namin tinitingnan sa mga consolidation na yun po, dapat magbayad po sila ng buwis.
Pero yung regular balikbayan box sent to families, was the reason why gusto nating ibukas was because gusto nating buwisan yung mga balikbayan box? Yun ho ba yung balak ho ninyo?
Hindi po. Ang tinitingnan po natin doon talaga yung mga pyesa ng barel at saka po yung drugs.
Okay. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Salamat.
Salamat, Senator Aquino. I think si Depcong Lachica was raising his hand. Sir?
Thank you very much. I just want to state for the record na we have already submitted the list of contrabands found in balikbayan boxes as submitted by our enforcement group. Also, In the discussion earlier, na-mention kasi na ang focus ng Bureau of Customs ay wrongly focus yung anti-smuggling drive ng Bureau of Customs sa mga balikbayan boxes at wala pa tayong na-file na kaso against big-time smugglers. I just want to also put on record that sa panahon ni President Aquino, no, since August 2010, the Bureau of Customs has already filed 50 cases, no, yung run after these smugglers, no, against rice smugglers and brokers. 50 cases na po yun since 2010. Para ano lang po,
Ina-desisyonan na ho na by final judgment?
Wala pa po. Out of the 50 cases, 11 are pending in courts and 39 are pending with the Department of Justice for preliminary investigation. Yan lang po. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you can give us updates of these cases from time to time ho pagka meron tayong final judgment.
Yes, we will do that.
At saka magkano yung na-recover ho natin. Kasi baka yung cost of prosecution will not justify the recovery anymore. Can we hear from the OFW groups ngayon ho finally? Yeah, si Ma'am Connie from Migrante. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dagdag na lang po doon sa demand. Hindi lamang po public apology sana yung i-release ng Bureau of Customs. We demand na magkaroon ng public full report, no, the number of boxes na binuksan, no, at saka ano bang resulta nito. Kailangan lang na ma-publish ito, hindi lang sa sa files, kasi ito yung inihintay din ng mga kababayan natin sa labas ng bansa na kailangan naming malaman ano ang nangyari doon sa pinagbubuksan ng mga boxes.
I think sinabi ni Commissioner Lina that you only opened, is it 5 boxes or 5 containers, Commissioner?
Sa totoo po, ang nabuksan lang namin yung galing sa Amerika. Wala pa pong binubuksan. So far, ang report sa akin na galing po sa Middle East.
Pero yung sinabi niyo ho kanina, 5
ang
box ba yun
nakita
o 5
po namin
container?
na galing po doon sa East Coast, yung ako ang naka-witness. Nung
5
binuksan po yung
boxes
container.
or 5 containers? Ho?
5 containers
5
po na
containers.
galing sa Hong Kong na binuksan po doon. Ang pangalan po ay doon sa A-Freight Forwarders, doon po sa kanilang opisina. Binuksan po yung container. Hindi naman po binuksan yung mga boxes. Ang nabuksan po ng mga boxes, yung pong nanggaling sa United States sa East Coast. Ako po naka-witness doon, ang pangalan po is Makati Express. Doon po may nakita kami doon beyond the balikbayan boxes, refrigerators, televisions. Yun naman, hindi ho nakakonsign doon sa quote-unquote, iba pa doon, hindi naman ho talaga OFW. And moving forward, ang pakiusap ko din po talaga sa ating mga samahan, bigyan ho kami talaga yung list na legitimate OFW or POEA. Para doon pa lamang po, maaga pa po dumadating yung kanilang kargamento, ipi-pre-clear ko na, yun ang aking gagawin moving forward. Wala na ho tayong masyado pang gagawin doon, kundi mabilis ang pagdideliver ho sa kanilang bahay. At hindi ho bubuksan. Yun po ang aming gagawin, Senator.
Magandang suggestion yun, Commissioner, no? Na we give special, maganda yung sinasabi ng Bureau of Customs ngayon na may special treatment naman sa OFWs para reverse naman kasi ang pakiramdam nga nila na
pasensya na po kayo doon at medyo sa pagkaayos lamang, medyo hindi naman lihis ito kasi hindi naman sila talaga ang puntriya namin dito. Marami ho kasi
mahirap po nga, sabi nga ni Senator Recto, mahirap po ang trabaho nyo. Pag sinasabi nyo pasensya, is that a apology ho to our OFWs?
Palagay ko, kami ang nakikiraan. Kung yun ang kailangan ng aking kaibigan Toots, alam nyo, ang kanya namang butihing ama, ako ay ang kanyang protege nung araw. So, tutuusan lang, I am with the labor group as a matter of fact. And it bleeds me also hearing this. Diba? Kasama nila ako. Kaya lang na-interpret ng ibang mga kasamahan natin, hindi sila ito ang tinutukoy ko. Ang tinutukoy ko ito yung ginagamit ang pangalan ng mga balikbayan at OFW. I bleed for them. I have relatives as OFW. My sister is an OFW at Oman.
So, sorry ho kayo na...
Ako'y nagsosorry kung meron kaming hindi kami natapakan dyan. Hindi naman kami nantatapak sa mga OFW. I give my 200 support for them.
Okay.
Antayin po ninyo ang bago naming procedures for OFW. Abangan nyo. Watch us.
Sige, salamat,
Watch
salamat.
us.
Mukhang at least magandang kalabasan nito. Let's all work together when this hearing is over to give an input dun sa special provisions for OFWs. Pero tama rin yung sinabi ni Commissioner na we must have safeguards. Hindi naman pwedeng lahat ng nagpapadala galing sa Amerika o sa Middle East, OFW na, di ba? So, siguro, we'll ask the help of the OFW groups kung ano talaga yung valid IDs of our OFWs para hindi nga maabuso at hindi madehado po yung estado. So, yun siguro ang... si DEPCOM Deliosa, you're raising your hand.
Your Honor, I would like to clarify that the records that I have, ito yung seizure namin from 2014 up to 2015. Yung seizure during 2013 and earlier, I don't have a record of that. Now,
Bakit po? Bakit wala kayong record?
because I assume as Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence noong, I think, October 2013. So yung
Pero
records,
wala bang institutional memory ang Bureau of Customs?
I could not see any records of that, Your Honor.
Talaga?
So yung time ko lang po, yun
But
yung records that
Commissioner,
I have in
let
my
us
office.
professionalize our records. Kung totoo
Yes,
yung
Your Honor.
sinasabi ni
We'll do that.
Deputy Commissioner Deliosa na wala tayong institutional
Hindi,
memory.
pasensya na kayo doon. We are now documenting all our records. We are imaging now, Mr. Senator.
Okay.
Pero sa palagay ko, mas makakasagot yung ating kaibigang dating commissioner.
Commissioner,
Biason.
thank you na nagsorry kayo sa OFW. Sana katanggap-tanggap na sa ating mga OFWs yon kahit na medyo nahirapan si Commissioner na ilabas yung kanyang kanyang sorry.
Palagay ko sa buhay ng tao, kung may kaunting gusot, hindi ba, naging marky man, lilinaw din ngayon. At kaya ako humarap dito ngayon para linawin natin sa ating mga kababayan na ito ang ating gagawin pa sa susunod.
Mas mahalaga dun sa sorry ni Commissioner, palagay ko may gagawin tayong na legacy dito na maiiwan na.
Mas maganda ito, itong sinasabi ko sa kanila. Kausap namin ang OFW sa ating butihing Congressman Sinere. Makikita nila sa darating na araw.
Sige.
Salamat.
DEPCOM, go ahead.
Yeah, to continue, Your Honor, usually ang nahuli po namin sa mga balikbayan boxes, mga commercial goods in commercial quantity. Like for example, isang example lang, yung G-Shock watches, 413 G-Shock watches.
Sino ho nagpadala nun? Mga na-file nyo ba ng kaso yon? Yung sinasabi niyo?
Actually, ang declaration po personal effects such as chocolate or grocery using cargo, Forex, and Felix.
Sino
It is worth $4
sino ho ang
million.
declarant nun? Who was the declarant?
4 million pesos.
Sino po ang declarant?
I still have to find out the records, Your Honor.
Hindi
And
pwede,
also-
hindi pwede tayong magbibigay ng cases dyan tapos wala ho tayong mga pangalan.
Yeah, I have the
there must be an
details, Your
attribution.
Honor, sa office. Summary lang po ito.
Sige.
Then we
Okay.
also apprehend one container actually of OFW, balikbayan boxes. One container consisting of 220 boxes. Pero actually, panay ukay-ukay po ang laman sa MICP. Pero this is a syndicate. Syndicate po ito. We have information about that. That's why we were able to apprehend that.
Anong sindikato yun?
Actually, it involves yung Pakistan group Pakistani group. But
Sige.
we're still investigating
Kindly
this,
submit the
intelligence.
information you have.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sige. Ma'am Connie, tapos na ho ba kayo? Can we now ask... sige, let's go down the line na lang ho. Yung katabi niyo ho. Si Ginoong... Please identify yourself.
Yeah, Engineer Ramirez of United Filipino Seafarers. Ang masasabi ko, matatanggap namin yung public apology ni Chairman at ni Commissioner Lina. Sana naman hindi na mauulit itong ganitong pangyayari
Okay,
para
sir,
sa
let's
mga
for the
OFW.
information of the body, we'll be finishing at around 2:45, 10 to 3, no? So let's keep our remarks brief, ho. Huwag na tayo nag-sorry na si Commissioner, eh. So let's give comments that are future oriented kung paano mapapaganda, mapapalakas yung batas natin. Go ahead, sir. Please.
Sana mababago itong batas na to at yung exemption will be something like 150 to 200,000.
Good afternoon. My name is Hannah Señeres. I'm representing the office of Congressman Roy Señeres of the OFW Family Party List, which represents our OFWs in Congress. Tama po yung sinabi kanina ni Senator Villar. Ano? Double whammy na ho sana ito dahil last year, October 1, yung terminal fee issue ang pumutok. Tapos yung sa balita nga, October 1, ang umpisa sana ng paghihigpit nung sa balikbayan na boxes. Ngayon, kami po sumusuporta din dun sa pag-raise ho ng mga exemptions. And in addition to that, ang nais din po naming malinaw sa batas ho, yung brand new ho na mga items, kasi as of now, ang nakalagay ho sa batas natin, used items. Wala naman ho talaga sa mga OFWs magpapadala ng mga used items galing sa ukay-ukay para ipangregalo sa pamilya. So, kailangan malinaw din po sa batas na payagan maski po ang mga brand new items. Isa pa ho, yung distinction ng gift box at balikbayan box, it should also be made clear in the law that the exemptions also apply not just to the balikbayan, the returning Filipinos and OFWs, kundi pati din sa mga gift boxes as a gesture na lang din po ng pasasalamat sa kanilang contribution sa ating ekonomiya. Ngayon, meron po kasing mga pangamba pa rin po sa social media at ito po ay hindi po matay-matay itong issue na to dahil nga po meron po mga uncertainties. For example, lang po kahapon ay na-raise po dun sa Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs sa House, yung issue po nung pagpasa ng mga additional charges sa mga OFWs. Hindi nga po yung pagtaas ng taxes per se, dahil sinabi na nga po ng customs na wala naman silang kapangyarihan para magtaas ng buwis, kundi ay susundin lang dapat kung ano yung nasa batas. Ngayon po, yung tinanong po namin, ano po yung safeguard kung paano magiging measures para hindi ito maipasa. Ang paliwanag po nila ay ang may sakop daw nun ay yung DTI sa Philippine Shippers Bureau. Ang sa amin lang po kailangan din ho siguro merong close coordination dun sa DTI kasi kumbaga dito ho sa local kung sa palengke man ho meron tayong price watch sa bigas at sa mga gulay, dapat din ho merong ganong klaseng mga guidelines sa mga OFWs para alam nila na hanggang dito lang yung dapat nilang bayaran. And there should also be a well-coordinated reporting mechanism kung meron mga cargo companies or consolidators na sumisingil ng higit pa dun sa nararapat. Okay, na-mention ko po may mga pangamba pa rin po sa social media at ang feedback nga po sa amin, marami po ngayong mga pamilya ng OFW na very hesitant na magpadala. Tandaan niyo po, bare months na po. So ngayon po talaga yung peak season kung kailan sila magpapadala para umabot dito sa Pilipinas. Ngayong Pasko, yung kanilang mga pasalubong at padala. Pero marami sa kanila ayaw na magpadala kasi nawala na sila ng tiwala. Hindi po ba? So I think the Bureau of Customs has their work cut out for them. How to restore this trust and confidence in the Bureau of Customs as well as the cargo companies. Because the last thing that we would want to happen is for the OFWs to have sad Christmas, for their families to also end up with nothing. So, dapat lang po na ibigay po natin yon sa mga OFWs bilang pasasalamat sa kanila. And in addition to that po, I would like to introduce po si Ms. Gemma Comiso sa kanya pong grupo, yung Pinoy Expats and OFW Blog Awards, kung saan talaga nag-umpisa yung wildfire at yung conflagration po sa social media.
Go ahead, please.
Hello, good afternoon. May hinanda po kaming video if you will allow sana na ma-play.
Go ahead. How long is the video?
3 minutes.
Sige, go ahead.
Sana po may sound, sir.
Pakitigil na lang ho yung presentation hanggat na ayos yung sound. Ayan. Can we go for the start po? Pwede bang paki-rewind sa umpisa?
Itong bagang ito.
Thank you.
Itong bagay ito ay pinaghirapan ko to at inaabangan ko ang mga safe dito sa bansang ito para makabili ng mga may pamabagahe.
Na personal items o panregalo lamang ay ilalagay sa box. Nagsasagawa na ng random inspection ang Bureau of Customs sa mga balikbayan box na dumadating ng bansa.
Nagsilabasan ng mga post sa pagpo-protesta sa directive ng DOC. But after na pumutok yung no to BBB, it went up. Yesterday, it was 12 million viewership average. Today, when we check, it was only 14 million viewership. It just shows how the issue is affecting the lives of many OFWs and his family.
Ang Philippine Expats OFW Blog Awards o PEBA ang isa sa mga mahigpit na tumututol sa panukala ng Bureau of Customs.
Ito, chocolate, ipapadala ko sa Pinas. Kainin mo, aking daw, kainin mo na din. Nang ikay mag-ipot na, pagkakabuhaya mo naman eh.
Sapatos, padadala ko sa anak ko to. Baka nang bubuksan nyo. Tapos kukunin nyo, aswerte yung mga anak nyo.
May ibibili namin ng simpleng dilata, toothpaste, sabon, gamit na hindi pa natikman ng pamilya namin since na bata kami. Ang bagay na yan, alam niyo ba kung anong pakiramdam ng pamilya namin na makakatikim ng simpleng bagay galing sa abroad?
Ay, pa. Pakita mo to, pre.
Bigay lang ng company.
Binigay lang daw ng company, narinig nyo? Eh, di sa inyo na!
Maraming salamat po.
Any other comments from...
Idadagdag ko lang po yung sentiment ng mga OFW. Sa ngayon, dahil nasa social media kami, gusto din naming malaman kung saan kami magre-reklamo. Yung marireach out namin yung mga tanong. Kasi tulad namin sa PEBA, sobrang dami ng mga tanong nila na minsan di rin namin alam yung sagot. Nung nag-meeting kami kay Commissioner Lina, sinabi po namin, sinuggest po namin na sana magkaroon din sila ng activity sa social media or mag-open ng page para yung mga inquiries ng mga OFW, at least maramdaman din nila na passionate sila kung ano man yung change na gusto nilang ipatupad. Sabi nila sa amin, a week from that time, meron na silang page, pero parang until now, hindi pa po namin nararamdaman yun. Tapos yung pagpapadala po ng box, as OFW po, galing ng Taiwan, yung mga forwarders po kasi may promo sila, yung 2+1 na tinatawag. Tapos ang sabi nila na sa custom, 1 box lang ang allow per month. Hindi po yun mangyayari kasi bilang OFW, igagrab mo yung chance na makuha mo yung promo nila eh. Kasi pwede ka magpadala sa kanila ng 3 box. Tapos po, yung balikbayan box, kaya naging emotional issue sa kanila, hindi lang kasi OFW yung naapektuhan, yung buong pamilya nila, kasi yun, yung expression ng love nila, yun yung connection nila para sa kanilang pamilya. Yun lang po, salamat.
Tama ho yun. Pero hopefully nga, with the proposal ng DOC na magkaroon tayo ng mga express lanes, meron sila mga green lanes for importers who have a good record. So, palagay ko, baka may special accommodation na may maigagawa rin ho tayo. So, we'll go down the line ho. Mr. Hindi ko mabasa. Anthony, go ahead, sir.
Go ahead. Alco na. Si Boss Joel ko na lang po ang...
Sige, okay, Joel.
Well, anyway, related sa sinabi ni Atty. Mangawang kanina, Atty. Tungkol dun sa US. Because sa US kasi meron kaming tinatawag na kumbaga, meron kaming homeland security palagi. So basically last year, I spent more than 250,000 para doon lang sa random inspection na yun. So kumbaga, kung single out natin ng US para doon sa examination, para doon sa high risk na tinatawag, meron ho kaming ganyan palagi. Every week, meron kaming Homeland Security sa mga container namin. So basically, kung titingnan natin yung drugs and ammos and guns and everything, personally sa company ko as Atlas, for the last, siguro the last 5 years na meron kaming random inspection, meron kaming one issue. Admittingly, meron kaming one issue doon sa mga nagpapadala ng baril. Well, in fact, hanggang ngayon, may kaso pa yan. And Mr. Eugenio is the one sa kaso rin sa Pilipinas. So, yun lang natatandaan ko. Thank you. And at the same time, tungkol doon sa sinasabi ni Atty. Mangawang kanina, na yung ruling tungkol doon sa pagpapadala ng boxes na kumbaga, 1 every 6 months. Sana yun ay papalitan na natin. Thank you.
Thank you. Toots, go ahead.
Unang-una po, salamat sa committee. Sa hearing na ito, marami pong nagliwanag sa aming isipan. Pangalawa, salamat po at sa wakas nakarinig po kami ng public apology, and alam naman po namin na well-intentioned yung ating gobyerno, pero minsan talaga pag hindi po nagkukonsulta, talagang malakas ang chance ang magkamali. So yung pangatlo po, yung panukala po namin, huwag sana compartmentalize ang approach. Kung pwedeng may isang pagpupulong, nandun yung OFW sector, nandun yung forwarding companies, nandun yung BOC, and if your committee po can send an observer, para lang masigurado natin na we are all on the right track. Kasi pare-pareho naman po tayong mga Pilipino, ayaw natin syempre na mga illegal na contraband from abroad. Yung sa amin lang po, respeto. Yun lang hinihingi namin, respeto sa ating mga bagong bayani. Salamat po, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Toots, Ms. Ople. Regarding nabanggit earlier, Commissioner, pwede ba tayong magkaroon ng complaints desk sa customs or even on social media? Yung
Opo, aside from the social media, napag-usapan po namin ng mga kasama namin si Congressman Sineres noong isang araw, magtatayo po tayo ng OFWBOC call center 24/7. So lahat po ng OFW pwedeng tumawag doon at doon po sasagutin sila.
Thank you.
24/7. Ikaw na po, inaayos na po ito. Salamat kay Congressman Sineres. At doon po natin gagawin.
Malaking bagay ho yun. Salamat.
So, 24/7 po yun. Yun ho ang handog ng BOC sa OFW.
Hindi lang sorry ang nakuha nyo. Pati complaint center. So, pero syempre, bantayan natin yan.
Mangyayari ito. This will happen. Give us a few days. And in the inauguration, our people and them will jointly inaugurate these facilities.
Okay. Sige. Mr. Bertis, anything else you'd like to add?
Ayun sa akin lang po yung, kasi meron pang maliit lang po. Nagtuturoan po kasi ang forwarder tsaka custom na pag dumating dun sa pamilya namin yung box, bukas na, tapos ang nakalagay lang pentel pen, inspected by BOC. Sinasabi ng forwarder, binuksan ng BOC yan Nung pinarating namin sa BOC, ang sabi nila, nung lumabas sa amin yung container, sealed yan. So, wala ho kaming seguridad Lagi ho kaming naiipit dito. Ano ho ba yung pwedeng, kaya ho bang ipasara ng BOC yung forwarder ngayon pag sinabi nyo na pinatunayan nilang hindi sila nagbukas o vice versa? Salamat po.
Any response from the BOC?
Kasi nga po, panagbukas kami sa harap ng ng mga forwarders. Siguro going forward, what we'll try to do is put in a sticker ng BOC. Kasi witness naman, may mga TVs. So, pag binuksan namin, selyohan namin. Pero pag nabuksan niya at walang selyo namin, iba nagbukas niyan. Ganun na lang siguro going forward.
Okay.
Salamat po.
Director Tirona, anything else to add?
Yes. I think hindi po tayo CSO. Gobyerno po rin po tayo. No? Gusto ko lang din pong kilalanin yung pagtulong na nabigay rin ng kumpanya ni Mr. Lina sa aming anti-trafficking campaign sa human smuggling. Now, ito naman po makikipag-ugnayan tayo sa inyo sa anti-goods smuggling. Pero babanggitin ko po ulit, kasama po rin dito yung mga overseas Filipinos na hindi naman categorized as OFW. Marami po tayong kailangan linawin dyan sa media at sa mga partners po natin, no? At dahil po yung, for example, yung sinasabi nating $28 billion remittance from the World Bank data, this does not just come from the OFW community. It also comes from the overseas Filipinos. Tapos po yung mga bumabalik bayan, hindi lang, that's why yung clarification kanina, ano ba ang OF, anong OFW, ano ang returning resident, ano yung nag-shopping, ano yung asawa ni senador, yung mga ganyan. Kailangan talagang linawin yan. Of course, hindi na natin pag-uusapan yung obsolete rates. No po? Inflation and dollar exchange, talagang changed everything, no? But I think what is also something that we can return to you is to help you blast this balita. Kung nag-apologize na nga po, dapat nga doon makarating doon sa ating OF community rin, dahil sila nga po yung maraming pinapadala ring balikbayan boxes. No? So we have a balikbayan portal. Ilalagay na po namin yung balita. We e-blast in our e-bulletin. We will use the social media. We have also grant from the government to improve our digital connectivity. So we will use our facilities to blast your apologies to the community. And I think there must be a creative way of marking the balikbayan box. Of course, as I said, mautak po ang ating mga kalaban, maski sa human smuggling, maski sa goods smuggling. Ano ba yung gayahin ng balikbayan box natin? It can be copied anywhere. Maski ano pang selyo ilagay natin, pwede pa rin gayahin. No? So yun lang po ang mahirap talaga. Paano natin masasabi kung alin ang balikbayan box na galing sa isang OF? Aralin na ang smuggled. So it's a challenge. So thank you very much. We have submitted our position paper to the office of Senator Angara.
Salamat ho, Director Tirona. Can we hear from the PPA? Anything to add ho?
Magandang hapon po. Sa amin po sa PPA, sinusuportahan po namin itong CMTA. Yun po ang pinaka-concern namin dito. At kung ano pong kailangan na support na kailangan ng publiko sa amin, 24/7 naman po mga ports namin. Nandiyan lang po kami. Thank you po.
Who pays for the overtime ho, sa ports? Pagka ganon.
PPA po nagbabayad sa
Gobyerno
overtime
nagbabayad.
namin. Tsaka shifting po ang tao namin. 3 shifts po sila.
Okay. Thank you. Pareho naman siguro kayo ng comment. No? You're both from PPA.
Yes, Senator. We support this proposed bill. And also, natouch yung tungkol sa provision of suitable facilities in case there is examination to be conducted. So, ngayon pa lang, we are supportive of the Bureau of Customs. Yeah. And also, they have unhampered access to our port facilities. And this is being practiced already.
Okay, thank you. We'll go down this side naman ho, sa Intertech, Mr. Drilon. Nothing to add? Mr. Suba, anything to add? Mr. Carlos, anything to add?
We will just submit our written comment
sige ho,
with respect to de minimis and classification of my blocks.
Siyempre, thank you ho. Attorney Viceral, Mr. Pursha.
Magandang hapon po, Senator. Natutuwa po ako na na-resolve na rin itong isyong to. Tuunan din ho natin ng pansin sa susunod yung problema ng mga importation natin.
Hindi pa nare-resolve, sir. Pag-isip tayo ng solusyon. Pero ano yung comment nyo dun sa sinasabi ni Commissioner Lina na hindi naman nila concern yung mga balikbayan boxes. Ang concern nila yung mga forwarders.
Well,
how can we further the interest of the government, diba? Na hindi tayo nagpapadala ng mga kontrabando, etc.
Well, yung concern nga ho ni Commissioner, may basihan naman ho. Nagkataon nga lang ho na ang clamor nga ho ng OFW at ng mga opisyalis natin is mabigyan sila ng konsiderasyon, which sa tingin ko nga ho is tama naman dahil nga ho sa remittance na ibinibigay nila sa atin.
Kayo ho ba siniscreen nyo yung mga pinapadala sa inyo? Dumadaan ba sa x-ray yan bago nyo tinatanggap para ipadala?
Nagkataon lang po na hindi ho
anong security measures nyo ho? Kasi aminado naman tayo na hindi kayang buksan lahat at ayaw natin na bubuksan lahat So siguro at the level of the forwarders, meron din tayong mga safeguards. Maganda ba ho ba yun, Commissioner? Na meron tayong level of safeguards at the level of the forwarders? Is that a good tingin nyo, Commissioner Lina?
Alam po ninyo, kung talaga magko-cooperate lang po talaga yung forwarders at brokers, lilinaw po ito.
Anong cooperation ho, specifically?
As we go along, yung pagpasok pa lang po sa ating bayan, yung pong pagpiprepare nila noong invoice, noong bill of lading, airway bill, maaga pa pong idating sa atin para ang total objective po nun ay talagang mabawasan yung human touch.
Usually ho, kailan ho dumarating yan?
Now, ganito po yan. Yung pong galing po sa East Coast, mga 30 days po yan bago dumating dito. Yung sa Europe, maganon din po, mga 30 days. And our friends here will correct me because this used to be my former business. Ang mangyayari po dyan, talagang maaga po, ibibigay na sa amin yung mga dokumento para yung aming analyst, yung aming mga intelligence, ma-profile at ma-screen na.
Yung 30 days, sapat na ho yun?
Depende po yun sa... sufficiente na
sa
po yun.
Sa punto de vista ho ng BOC, sapat na ho ba yung 30 days?
Pwede na ho yun. Pero kasi meron, katulad po nung nanggagaling ng Taiwan, mabilis po yan. So mga 7 days po yun. Ang mga days gap na hihingi namin sa kanila na maaga sila magpadala sa amin ng dokumento. Para ho ang tinatawag namin sa ating mga OFW, ma-pre-clear yung shipments at wala po silang demorahe, wala po silang excess storage, at saka po wag na po silang sumama dun sa port congestion. Malapit na po ang bare months. So yan po ang iniingatan ng ating gobyerno ngayon na huwag po sanang magkaroon ng port congestion.
Okay.
Yun po ang aming moving forward na gagawin. At yun po ang aming sinasabi sa mga freight forwarders and brokers, makisama naman sila. Kasi yung atraso ng aming isang site, nare-reflect dun sa balikbayan, sa OFW. Hindi naman kasalanan ng OFW yun
Okay, pakinggan naman ho natin, Commissioner, yung side ng forwarders. Mr. Soriano.
Mr. Chair, actually kasama ko sa mga OFW, dating OFW. Kasama rin ako sa coalition. Tanong ko lang siguro, Mr. Chair, tanong na rin sa ating commissioner. No? Dalawang klase po kasi po yung pagpasok ng balikbayan box. Ang hindi gusto kong palinaw sana dahil itong katanungan ng mga OFW, bare months na po, marami na pong magbabakasyon. Yung pong dala-dala ng mga OFW na balikbayan box at saka yung maleta nila, ganun din po ba yung policy na inutos ng ating presidente? Hindi na rin yun bubuksan sa airport pagdating nila.
Palagi ko iba yun. Commissioner.
Sa totoo lang po, yung dumadating po sa atin doon, wala na po. Hindi na ho kayo nagpipill up ng forms Basta pagka-honesty system po doon. Pagdaan po nyo, may red at saka green lane. Lahat po ngayon nasa green lane Pagka na lang po na-profile kayo, na sobrang hindi dinadala nyo, yun lang, saka sasabihin siya, oy,
pag nakikita na lang nung BOC na, ay, sobra yata.
Sobra yan. Kabayan, baka naman po pwede ka ba mag-declare? Ganun lang. Pero tingnan po ninyo sa airport ngayon, wala po. Halos mabilis na ho ngayon kasi halos lahat ang pasok nila is green lane. Yun po ang reality ngayon.
Pero pagka gano'n naman ho, baka maraming makalusot ho. Tapos magagalit naman ang tao dahil pinalusot ng...
Iyon, ganun, Senator, where do we belong?
Hindi. Pero I think acceptable naman anywhere in the world na kung lahat naman siguro tayo dito nagbiyahe. There are really checks at that point.
Yun po naman sa amin sa intelligence.
Hindi naman science yan di ba?
Wag na lang mawala. That is still our role to say, hey, pwede bang step a little forward? Can we just examine? Part pa rin ng role namin yun. Kaya lang sinasabi niya, tingnan po ninyo ngayon ang practice. Realidad ay halos green lane na halos lahat. Lalo na dun sa balikbayan.
Okay, sige. Mr. De Los Santos.
Good afternoon, Senator. Director Adriano po from
Director Adriano, go ahead.
the Consumer Protection Bureau of the DTI.
Any comments po?
Yes, Your Honor. May we just like to make some points regarding the comment from the Chief of Staff of Congressman Señeres. The rates for the balikbayan boxes are actually published in the website of the DTI, just for the information of everybody. So if you would like to access information. It's readily available in the website of the DTI.
So meron na kayong price
Yes,
mark?
sir. We just like to, of course, make our call for those freight forwarders that are servicing the European continent, because we don't have the data yet.
Sa Europe wala. Pero
Yes,
sa
Your
Middle East and America,
Middle East,
meron.
USA, Canada, Singapore, and Hong Kong.
Okay.
We tried actually reaching out to the other freight forwarders from the areas which are not in our list, but unfortunately we haven't been able to get some. So maybe we could appeal to the freight forwarders who are here to give us the information. And secondly, if there would be any complaints, Your Honor, on freight forwarders which are actually being accredited by the DTI through the Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau, you may want to forward the complaints to the DTI through the FTEB, either by walking in or text or email through the numbers which are also published in the website of the DTI.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
salamat, Director. Mr. Katibayan, anything to add? Wala na, okay, good. Ms. Mijares, opo.
We would just like to thank the committee for strengthening our advocacy for de minimis. Because of this hearing,
I think practically unanimous na ho ang table na to na the de minimis has to be changed.
Yes.
May umobject ba dun sa baguhin natin yung mga de minimis values set in 1950? Wala na ho. Talagang unanimous na ho tayo. So we can move forward dun ho. Anything else ho? Anything else, ma'am? Wala na ho. Attorney Mongawang, please keep it short.
Yes, sir. Kasi ginalify. Yeah, I'd like to, tinatanong nyo kung sinong may institutional memory. Kami ho yun, yung mga collectors. We've been there for 20 to 30 years. Now, sa memory ho namin yung mga, ever since, pag sa airport, nag-acting examiner ho ako dyan, acting collector. Pag OFW, wala akong bukasan talaga yan. We know kung sinong OFW through our experience in a profile. Sir, yung pong minention ni Commissioner about the puro green lane, nothing to declare. Ako, I trained, sir, from my experience, I trained in Japan, I trained in Korea, which is the world's the best customs office in the whole world for 10 years. Sa airport ho yan, pati sa Hong Kong, kaya ho may lane dyan na self-declaration. You have nothing to declare, you go to the green lane. Kasi lahat ho ng conveyor sa ilalim may x-ray. Ine-x-ray lahat ng kargamento at saka may nilalagay silang GPS dyan. So pag akyat nung kahit nothing to declare siya, dumaan siya doon, huli pa rin siya.
Nakita na siya.
Kita na siya. Sir, wala hong x-ray sa Terminal 1, kaya maliho po yan.
Okay. That's a good point, ha? Thank you. Salamat, attorney. I cannot see the names anymore. The gentleman next to, nothing, sir. The lady next to you. Sorry, pasensya na ho. Samahan ho. Matanda na ho tayo.
Good afternoon,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair. I'm Tanya Ramiro from the Office of Migrant Workers Affairs of the Department of Foreign Affairs. We'd just like to express our support for the proposal to provide certain exemptions for OFWs. And I'd also like to share that I just came home from a consular mission abroad just a week ago, and the Balikbayan box controversy was the hot button topic during our consultations with our Filipino communities abroad. So we'd like to thank the chair for coming up with this hearing to clarify certain matters, and we will definitely report to our posts abroad on the outcome of this hearing. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Director Ramiro. Sa DOF naman ho, Yusek Karag, who's the lady? Taga-DOF din ho kayo? Okay, sige, Yusek, kayo na lang ho. We will give the final word to the Bureau of Customs. And,
Yes, thank you.
Unless si General Santiago, may add pa ho kayo? Sorry, we'll after the DOF, we'll go to the National Book Board and we'll go to the BOC.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. In as much as this is an inquiry in aid of legislation, and considering all of the proposals, sa DOF naman, nakikita na namin ngayon ang importansya ng pagsusulong ng CMTA po. It shows that it has become really urgent and we should treat it with priority. Yun lang po.
Okay, thank you, DOF. Sa Book Board ho, can you comment, please?
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting us to this session. Yung note lang po namin, because our concern is very specific, we will just submit a position paper to your office, Senator Angara.
Yes, yes.
But we also want to convey our appreciation for this kind of assembly for interagency information alignment, because we think that this is very lacking in all aspects, items imported or exported. Thank you.
Happy to be of service. sa books anong polisiya natin, Commissioner, sa libro? Kasi marami rin nagte-text po, tsaka nagte-tweet on social media, nag-email, nagko-comment sa Facebook na bakit daw yung books.
Sir.
Can we clarify the policy?
Exempt po ang books.
Exempt, no?
Pero pagka commercial quantity po,
yes.
Pupunta po tayo.
What is the paano po anong consideration ng ano or anong definition ho ng commercial quantity?
Relatively mga 6 pieces and below personal siya. Pag above that, you go to DOF to get your exemption.
Pag more than 6 books, if you are sending more than 6, ako pag nagbabiyahe ako, palagi more than 6 books ang dala ko. Pwede ba nating ibahin ho 'yun? Kasi libro naman ho 'yan nakakapalagay ko.
So according to if I may
Go ahead.
According to Department Order 57/2011, books 6 copies of any one kind of work is considered to be personal. If
Pakiulit.
6 copies of one kind.
Of one kind,
Yes.
not 6 books.
Yes.
Okay.
Below 6 is considered personal.
Okay.
If imported by an individual, if imported by an institution, it can be 12 and below. Still considered personal. If it exceeds that, it's considered commercial. Both instances are still exempt from duties and taxes. Nag-iiba lang po yung requirement.
Yung requirements ho to import from the DOF. If they want to do it through the DOF, anong requirement doon?
May listahan po, nakalagay po dun sa department order which includes the declaration sa bill of lading, yung mga invoices.
Nasa website nyo
Nasa
ba yan?
website
Whose
po ng
website is
DOF at saka ng Gazette.
Okay, official Gazette.
57/2011 po.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Chuan of the OWA. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Ang request lang po sana namin, bago magkaroon ng mga policy, dapat kinonsulta yung stakeholder, lalo na yung OWA. Kasi gaya na nalaman namin ang OWA personnel will be witness to the sa pag-opening ng mga balikbayan box or whatever. Walang expertise po yung mga personnel namin, lalo let's say contraband, drugs. We cannot be witness to that kasi hindi namin alam kung ito bang pinapadala, drugs or whatever.
So, okay. Pero utos ng Pangulo yun eh. Ayaw niyang gawin.
Gusto lang.
Okay. Anybody else before we give the Commissioner? Former Commissioner Biazon, then Commissioner Lina.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Nakakatuwa po na yung nare-realize nga yung importance ng CMTA because the entire time that I was in the Bureau, that was my advocacy. Pushing for the amendment of the Customs and Modernization Tariff Act. No? Dahil marami hong problemang masusolusyonan aside from the balikbayan box issue. Halimbawa po, yung mga relief goods, alam ho ba natin na hindi naman automatically exempted yan pag pinadala dito sa atin declared as relief goods. That's not automatically exempted. You have to undergo a process para makapag-avail ng exemption. In fact, all exemptions, you have to get clearance to avail of that exemption. So, bahagi ho yun ng mga tinutulak natin na pagbabago sa ating tariff and customs code. So,
ang tawag dun sa exemption na yun, exemption na ayaw i-exempt. Di ba? Kasi pinahirapan pa natin. Minsan mas mahirap pa nga yung may exemption dahil mag-a-apply ka pa.
Yes.
So, I think if you want to make something exempt, i-exempt na lang talaga natin. Di ba?
So,
Commissioner,
yun po yung kahalagahan. And in fact, during my time, we requested that the bill be even certified as urgent. No? That effort now was not successful. And I hope that this time around, it will be included as a certified urgent bill. Not just because of the balikbayan box issue, but a lot of issues covering customs. A lot of reforms in customs will happen once we start with the basic law of the BOC. Thank you very much, Mr.
Salamat, former Commissioner Biazon. Commissioner Lina, baka may gusto kayong idagdag.
Magtatapos na rin lamang
Papawin nyo ba yung apology nyo? Hindi ho. Hindi po, okay.
Hindi naman.
Buti naman.
Magpapasalamat po kami sa inyo, Senator Angara, sa pagkakataong ibinigay nyo sa amin dito para ipagpaliwanag sa ating mga kababayan, sa ating tinatawag na OFW at saka sa ating Key Director Tirona, na ipaliwanag din niya na hindi lang naman OFW kundi overseas Filipinos. Di ba? Malaki ang overseas Filipinos that covers not only the OFW but Filipinos that are residing abroad. Di ba? Para malinaw na ito at ang ating tatahakin. Ang sinasabi ko lang kanina sa ating kaibigan Toots, kung kami man sa Bureau of Customs nagkaroon man lang ng kaunting hidawaan sa kanila, ako ay humihingi ng paumanhin. At sa susunod natin gagawin, lilinaw na rin ito. So, yun ang aking masasabi sa ating mga kasamahan sa Senado at saka sa Kongreso. Sana yung ating CMTA maaprubahan natin dito sa darating na Oktubre at tingnan natin at parang ating mga kasama, ang OFWA, meron silang maligayang Pasko. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Lina. At I'm sure happy naman, mukhang nakasmile naman yung ating OFW community. Pero siguro mas liligaya sila kung talagang nakita na nila yung mga pinangako natin, yung OFW desk, yung complaints desk, pati yung green line for OFWs. Tsaka yung certainty siguro, yung sinasabi ni former Commissioner Bianco.
Kasama naman namin silang magwa-watch, Senator. Kaya yung kanilang grupo, as a matter of fact, we have created an office of OFW right at the Commissioner's office. Yun ang aming sinabi sa kanila too. So right on my right side, OFW is with me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Salamat po sa lahat ng dumalo, and we'll have 1 or 2 more meetings before we finalize the CMTA. We reassure you, ladies and gentlemen, it's a priority of the committee. At sinabi na ng Pangulo to, sinabi rin ni Senate President. So definitely, before September ends, meron na tayong committee report that we can report out sa floor. So maraming salamat to sa inyo. Thank you.